All right, here we go. Mark up tight. Nice goal. Here's the Sunday. Right now. Right now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the GCU Soccer Stadium in the heart of Phoenix on the campus of Grand Canyon University for tonight's match between the Cal Baptist Lancers and your Grand Canyon University Lopes. I'm Phil Katafmo alongside Dominic Hinton, and the Lopes are looking to bounce back a little bit after a 2-0 loss against Cal Baptist, but Dom, they're back home.
They are back home, and they're here in front of a lively GCU crowd. The Havocs are out, the platform's starting to get full. The last two matches in a row, the game's first shot was a goal by the opponent. So right here, the Lopes are looking to take advantage early in front of this crowd.
Well, we'll see if the Lopes can take advantage early and see what else they need to do to take advantage as we take a look at our 3 keys of the game, brought to you by Sanderson Ford.
The Sanderson Ford 3 keys of the game for the Lopes are rare difficulty at home. Usually you talk about teams having home field advantage, but like we said, the last 2 games, the Lopes have not been able to perform in front of the home crowd. Here tonight, this is where they need to do it. They also need to score first. They've been playing from behind. If they can get ahead and attack early, it'll be huge for them. They also need to have set pieces from Josh Drack. He's by far the team's top performer, and if they can set him up perfectly, I think he can really lead this team to a victory.
We'll see if the Lopes can get a victory, but before we get into all the fun, let's send you down to the field for a prayer and national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you all please remain standing. Gentlemen, please remove your caps as we begin this evening's competition with the word of prayer. Tonight's prayer is led by GCU student Emma Cordy, a senior studying behavioral health science.
Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day, this beautiful weather, and I pray, Lord, that you would be with every individual. I pray that you would protect them from injury and any harm. It is all these things I ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Emma. Fans, please remain standing as we now honor America with the singing of the national anthem. The Star-Spangled Banner will be performed this evening by the North Valley Christian Preparatory School under the direction of Laura Huizinga.
As we get things going here at the GCU Arena, or Stadium, I should say, GCU Soccer Stadium. There we go, I'm ahead of myself. Let's take a look at the visiting teams. Starting lineups brought to you by Dignity Health. Lancers going with Joey Scotty, Victor Aguirre, Christian Hackenberg, Sebastian Wesbach, Preston Judd, Jordan Lane, Nick Forrester, Oliver Brinius, Linus Manson, and Matthias Binder. And in the goal box for the Lancers is number 1. That's Albert Escoen. And talk about a guy for the Lancers. Preston Judd has been impressive.
Yeah, Preston Judd leads the WAC in scoring. He's a player the Lopes are going to have to look out for. They're really going to need to push the defense and really just come out strong in this game if they want to bounce back from the last 2 losses at home.
And for your home team, Lopes, speaking of which, let's get to their starting lineup. The Lopes changing it up a little bit tonight against the Lancers. Going with Alex Radia, Josh Drack, Julian Amarole, Jackson Gella, Marco Afonso, Alex Ramirez, Bert Wilton, Austin Day, Mario Sandreu, and Sam Gardner. And of course, the spotlight of that lineup is Calvin Kissy, not in the lineup tonight for the Lopes.
Yeah, Calvin Kissy, who's a solid player, has not been performing up to par recently. And unfortunately, that means that some other players are going to have to step up. He'll earn his spot back for sure. But right now, it's going to be time for some other younger players to come up and see what they can do.
And the Lancers are new to the WAC, but not new to the Lopes. An 11-2-1 record. GCU leads against the Lancers. 11 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. And the last time they played against each other, you got to go all the way back to 2012, where the Lopes took a 1-0 victory right here at home in Phoenix.
Yeah, it's been a while since they've traveled here to Phoenix, but it's going to be an exciting matchup tonight in front of a big home crowd. And history always tends to repeat itself, so we'll see if tonight the GCU Lopes can get their 12th win in history against the California Baptist Lancers.
Lopes looking for win number 12 and win number 2 in the WAC against the Lancers. The teams line up as we get ready for opening kick. The fans are ready. George Tesouris is ready. Referee's got the ball in hand. He's ready to go.
I think we're all ready for some exciting soccer tonight.
We are definitely ready. Ball will be handed to Alex Radia, and we will get things underway. And here we go. Andreo starts out with it, kicks it ahead. Afonso. Or excuse me, that was Wilton. You know, Wilton and Afonso, 2 tall guys. Drack with it, Lopes will retain possession. Of course, Alfonso, well, he cut his hair recently, but last year he was rocking the longer hair, so it was a little easier to spot him out.
Well, I think it makes him more aerodynamic, flying out there with that speed.
So the Lopes will start it off with a free kick. The Lancers score the most goals in the WAC, but also give up the most goals. So hopefully the Lopes can take advantage early with Jackson Gella and Josh Drack back there ready for a free kick.
Well, absolutely, and this is the first free kick of the game for the Lopes. GCU spent much of the first half against California State University Bakersfield taking free kicks, and most of the Roadrunners' 9 first-half fouls took place in the defensive third.
Drack on the first attempt right into the arms of Escoin, and the Lancers take over. So not a bad look by Josh Drack, but an even better save by Escoin.
And that's where GCU needs to capitalize on those free kicks.
Lancers kick it ahead. Headed away. Gella coming over to pick it up. Gella kicks it over. Day with it. Kicks it ahead to Andreu. Drack looking for space, tripped up a little bit. Lancers on the attack. George Tesouris over to come get it. Ramirez back to Gardner. Gardner looking to clear space, and we will get a foul. So the foul will be on the Lancers. Looks like it was on Chris Hackenberg. Gella trying to get some sort of space cleared out, and the Lancers will pick it up. Andreo, Drack with it.
Josh Drack not getting the call there that he wanted, fighting off a couple defenders.
Not at all, and it'll go out of bounds, so the Lopes will retain possession.
Already this is looking to be a pretty physical match right out the gate.
2 teams with a lot more history than you would first seem, since the Cal Baptist Lancers weren't really in the WAC for a very long time. It's really their first season in the conference, but these teams know each other very well. Ramirez kicks it up. Alfonso back over to Ramirez.
Yeah, this being the 12th time the teams have met up here at GCU Stadium. They're no strangers to each other at all.
Alfonso coming over to pick it up. Through the legs and out of bounds, but the Lopes will hang on to it. Or I'm sorry, the Lancers will now take the throw in. Garner kicks it ahead, hustling over and headed in and saved by the Lancers. Alfonso able to get it to Drac. Drac with it. That's going to be out of bounds, and it will be. Oh, Lopes have Josh Drac down on the pitch. Looks like he'll slowly get up. Drac will walk it off. Throw in. Headered. Padilla up to Jella, who Lancers thought they got a.
Jella's got some nice footwork there.
Yeah, Jackson Jella, quite the speedster for the Lopes. Nifty footwork, and the man can run. Weisbach over on the far right for the Lancers. And one will go out of bounds.
We're only 5.5 minutes into this match, but GCU's already doing a great job of putting that pressure on.
Alfonso hustling. Wilton on the far left. Lopes looking to take advantage early. Wilton off the defender. Rebound, Radia. No call.
Radia does not get that call, and you could hear the Lopes fans and the Lopes players were a little bit upset about that one.
It looked like Radia was tripped up in the box, but no call. And we'll take another look at it. Throw in for the Lopes, but you can see right here, Alfonso had space. He found Wilton, and Wilton looking to clear some sort of space for himself. Good defense, and then right here, Radia tripped up,
right
and
there.
Yeah, exactly. Tripped up a little bit, but no call, and the game continues. Ramirez back to Garner.
So judging early on, looks like the refs are going to let this one be a little physical.
Alfonso kicks it ahead to Ramirez. Ramirez back up to Alfonso. No space for Alfonso. And he'll get back up as it'll roll. Garner off his shins. Garner downfield.
Big boot to Jella.
Drac to Radia. To Alfonso. No space. A little bit of a slow entry pass from Radia to Alfonso. If he gets that to him, the Lopes score.
Yeah, that took way too much time to get to him. He had the perfect look right at the goal.
Ramirez heads it.
But the Lopes so far getting some decent looks.
Tesorius launches it downfield, and the Lancers will retain. Yeah, the Lopes are getting their opportunities. Like we said in the beginning of the game, the Lancers are a team that scores a lot of points, but they also give up a lot of points.
It's up to the Lopes to capitalize on that. If they can score early, they can take that momentum, really ride this one out.
Radia. Amaroli now with it. Drac. Back to Ramirez. Lopes still looking to. Lopes still threatening. Drac. Kicks it ahead, off the shin. Oh, just on the far left side of the goal. A good look for the Lopes, but it'll go out of bounds.
And so close, just barely missing the goal.
We'll take another look at it. You can see the nice entry pass, and it just a little too far.
Another great look for the Lopes. It's only a matter of time, Phil, before one of these sinks in the back of the net.
That was the one thing the Lopes couldn't do on Friday, I should say, against Bakersfield. They were shut out 2-0, and Coach Heineman going with a new look tonight. And so far, it's given the Lopes opportunities as we get a foul in the back.
Oh, what's interesting against Bakersfield is even though they got shut out, they still had a 9-6 shot advantage against the Roadrunners. So, I mean, the GCU Lopes are doing everything right to move that ball up and apply pressure. It's just a matter of time before the goals start falling.
One kicked ahead and out of bounds. So not a bad placement there by Gardner. I think he was looking for Andreu on that one, but it goes out of bounds. So Escoin will goal kick for the Lancers as we approach the 10-minute mark here in the first period. Radia talking with the referee.
Looks like he's getting a little clarification down there, making sure everyone's on the same page.
Kick downfield. Gardner heads it away. Or Austin Day heads it away. Jella. Drac.
Drac is flying down
Drac
the field.
on the breakaway. Kicks it up to Radia. Lopes looking to make something happen. Jella, header, miss it. Cleared out. Lancers kick it downfield. Gardner will try to play keep away. And Ramirez will pick it up. Radia. Andreu's got Jella. He'll find Day on the far right. Amaroli. Amaroli connects with the knee of Oliver Brinius, and Brinius is fine, but it looks like Amaroli will get a yellow card.
They're going to give him the yellow for that one, definitely. Not a bad play, but just clipped his knee. I think they bumped into each other a little bit, and the ref is going to say, you cannot do that at all here.
Lancers with a chance. Kicked out of the box by the Lopes. Alfonso trying to clear some space on the inside, and it'll go out of bounds. So Alfonso will throw it in. No, he'll give it to Ramirez and let Ramirez do it. Wilton pushed down. So it'll be a foul on the Lancers. Radia with the free kick for the Lopes. Radia sends it across, header no good, rebound, and picked up by the Lancers. Gardner coming over, he'll get it to Tesouris. Gardner downfield. Little rain coming down on GCU Soccer Stadium. As we know, there is a little bit of, maybe the last bit of a hurricane coming through the Phoenix area. And the rain starting to fall now for the Lopes. Or not for the Lopes, for the city of Phoenix, not specifically for the Lopes. I
think God just said, hey, Lopes want a little rain. Let's
there
throw
you
it
go,
down
guys.
there.
I know it's been hot. Jella. Push down, no call, Lancers. Jella fighting for it. Jella's gonna keep possession, no, the Lancers will get it.
That was a great effort by Jella, really just doing it all himself from his knees on the ground, but could not come up with that one.
Gotta love the heart of Jackson Jella. Radia to Afonso. Gardner. Andreu kicks it a little too far behind Gardner. Amaroli. Gardner downfield and too far, it'll go out of bounds. Day heads it. Radia up to Afonso. Afonso. Nifty footwork. Not enough. The Lancers will have to fight for it. Gardner will get it. Afonso back with it. Ramirez. So the Lancers will try to clear it. Gardner pulled down. Obvious foul on the Lancers. We enter the 15th minute, almost 16th minute here at GCU Stadium. Fans starting to move from the platform to the backside of the goal.
Rain's really starting to come down as we see a good amount of the havoc starting to kind of clear out of the platform.
Yeah, they're headed to the backside of the goal to give Albert Esco in a little bit of trouble, something they do for the women's games. They make their way behind the goal, and for the men's games, they're on the platform just to kind of shake it up a little bit for both sides. Keep the opponent on your toes as much as you can.
I'll tell you what, the GCU Lopes fans always know how to keep opponents on their toes.
And the Havocs are a great example of that. They are the craziest fans in NCAA, and I'm happy that they're on our side. Wilton. Jella back to Wilton. Wilton on the outside. Wilton maybe with a chance. Oh, tried to kick it up to Afonso, and Wilton had a good look at the goal.
Wilton had a beautiful look at the goal. I'm just kind of surprised he didn't take that shot himself, tried to cross it over, and just kind of lost it.
Tesouris should come get it, but we'll get a foul again. And he might be Gardner will get us started. If you can hear that in the background, that is our field mic catching the wind. It is starting to rain and wind pretty well down here in Phoenix.
A little bit of a storm brewing up, and
yeah, you can see it through the reflection of the stadium lights. It is pouring. Rain has finally made its way to the desert.
Yeah, newsflash, it does rain in Phoenix, Arizona.
Tesori's going to try to clear it. He will. Great defense by George Tesori's, but he is down.
He is down holding his knee. I think he definitely got all of the boot right on the knee on that one, and that is not a good look for the Lopes. You do not want to see your top goalkeeper on the ground like that.
We will have the med staff come out to check up on George Tesori's.
He's down, Phil, and
yeah, we're going to take another look at George Tesori's. He is still down on the field, and there is another player for the Lancers down as well. We'll see who that is, but yeah, it looks like a little connection ankle to ankle. You know, great defense though by George Tesori's.
Oh, absolutely. You love to see when your goalkeeper is aggressive, comes up a little bit out of the box like that, but you always run the risk of an injury to your goalkeeper.
Now,
and that's not what you want.
No, especially George Tesori's, who has been very, very good for the Lopes. Never want to see that. The freshman out of Cyprus. Big fan of George Tesori's, and hopefully he'll be able to stay in. If not, I would assume Corey Marquise will come in. But Tesori's will hop back up, put a little pressure on the ankle, and he should be okay. That is also who was down on the field for the Lancers. That was number 8. That's Chris Heckenberg. But Heckenberg and Tesori's look to be okay.
Well, the nice thing about that is you know that it didn't look like a dirty play. It looked like it was just one of those freak sports accidents.
Tesori's was coming in. Heckenberg was going for the ball. They were both just going for the ball, things that happen. They're both okay.
Some good sportsmanship down on the field, and everyone's all right.
So Tesori's will stay in the box for the Lopes. Good sign for GCU, and Heckenberg will stay on the field for the Lancers.
And the rain continues to fall.
And the rain will stay on the field for everybody else.
Tell you what, Phil, if you're the Lopes, what do you do to adjust to this rain right now? Ball's got to be a little bit slippery out there.
It's definitely got to be a little slippery. As you can see, there are a few Havocs still on the platform waving the Old Glory out there. But, you know, I would assume make your passes shorter. They're going to travel a little bit more in the slicker grass. So shorten up the passes.
Keep them tight.
Keep them tight. Don't try to push too much downfield and go from there.
Absolutely. We'll see if the Lopes can do just that right here as the game continues.
Radia will do just that. He'll kick it ahead. Alfonso hustling, and it'll go out of bounds.
Yeah, when the gets wet, the ball just kind of glides right on it. Easy to get out of the reach of any player down there.
Andreu kicks it ahead to Day. 18th minute, rain coming down here in Phoenix. Amaroli. Push from behind, no call. Opportunity now, that's Judd, the leader in goals for Cal Baptist, but he's got George Tesori's on the rebound off the crossbar.
And that one just could not make it in. Tesori with a beautiful save. And I think God helped out the Lopes on the other end as that just bounces off the crossbar.
Judd gets his first look. George Tesori says, no thank you. Judd gets a second look, and the crossbar, the 12th man, says, no thank you as well. 0 for 2 attempts for Preston Judd, and the score remains 0-0. Radia on the inside. Radia pushes it up. Alfonso, the shot, it's good! And the Lopes score!
The Lopes have scored!
Alfonso, Radia, and the Lopes put on the board!
An absolute beautiful sequence of events by the Lopes. Tesori, after that awesome save, the crossbar says no, and the Lopes say, you know what, we'll show you how it's done. Take it up the field for a Lopes victory.
We'll get another look at Marco Alfonso's goal. Radia, a beautiful touch. And Alfonso right off the shoe of Escoin, and the Lopes find themselves 1-0 against the Cal Baptist Lancers.
I'll tell you what, Phil, you cannot write a better script than that, going all the way up the field after the team misses the shot to shove it back in their face and say, you know what, here's how it's done. Here's how you finish.
Judd had 2 looks at the goal. He had to meet a brick wall in George Tesori's, then he had to deal with the 12th man. Defense wins games, and the Lopes have one of the best goalkeepers in the WAC right there, George Tesori's. And how about Marco Alfonso with the touch?
Absolutely beautiful. We mentioned earlier that you got to be really tight with these passes here in the rain, and you know what? He was crisp and he was perfect, and it sunk in the back of that net.
So in the 19th minute, the Lopes take a 1-0 lead in the first period. We talked about it. The Lancers are a team that give up a lot of goals, and right there, 1-0, the Lopes get an early lead. Something they desperately needed against Bakersfield.
And that's something we mentioned earlier in the game, the keys of the game. They needed to score first. They needed to score first, they needed to score early, and that's what they've done right here.
Radia. Drac got his first goal of the season against Incarnate Word on the road. Ramirez looking, headered, Alfonso again!
And back-to-back goals for the Lopes. Are you kidding me, Phil?
Marco Alfonso on the rebound, but we might get an offsides call. We'll see if it's still going to stand. It looks like it is. Marco Alfonso, 2 goals for the Lopes in the matter of minutes. It looks like it might be an offsides call. The game's still going. The score is still 2-0. Just want to keep that on there, but it looks like we've got to hear on the StatCast that goal will be called back. But
you know what? I just think you wanted to pump a little bit of adrenaline into these Lopes fans, especially us here in the booth, because aside from that offsides, that was a pretty good-looking play right there.
We do apologize for the premature celebration, but it did look like that was a goal from Marco Alfonso, but a offsides call will call it back. So the score says 2-0 on your screens and on our scoreboard, but we want to reiterate it is 1-0. The goal did not count. It was offsides, and the score is still 1-0. Lopes still leading here in the 21st minute. So we'll get a correction for our scoreboard and the scoreboard as the rain is now officially coming down quite hard.
Now, regardless of whether that goal counted or not, that was still huge for the Lopes' momentum.
Oh, huge goal. And you know, we talked about the Lancers giving up a lot of goals and the Lopes taking advantage of that, rebounding here against, well, in general, in terms of the WAC, they got the win against Incarnate Word, and then they came home and got the loss against Cal Baptist 2-0, and really wanting to rebound here at home, and they're doing it so far, 1-0.
What is...
Jella on the outside. Lancers pushing it ahead, Heckenberg. So we've got the correction now on the score. Still 1-0, Lopes lead.
It's up to the Lopes now to continue this momentum. See if they can make something out of it.
Alfonso on the inside. Drac slowly following ahead of him. Alfonso gets it to Drac. Drac pushed from behind, no call. Pushed again, no call. Andreu will pick it up.
Lopes a little confused as to why Drac didn't get that call, getting pushed from behind. But
there we go. We will get a foul now, and it'll be on Andreu.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Due to the field conditions, there will be no halftime activities.
So the halftime festivities have officially been rain delayed, with the rain coming down here at GCU Stadium.
Thank you for your cooperation.
But the game will continue. 1-0. Ramirez trying to get a little bit of, trying to dry the ball off as much as he can. And it's going to be a lost cause with how hard this rain's coming down. Garner heads it. Ooh. Lancers with it.
Lancers doing everything they can to push forward and really breathing a sigh of relief that Alfonso goal did not count.
Throw in now for the Lancers. Still recovering from that Alfonso goal. Radia. Jella. Day. Well, we found where the Havocs have relocated. They have relocated on our side over here in the stadium area of the field. They're on the far left making their appearance known.
A little more dry on this side.
Oh yeah, you can see them right there. They have found their section. A little drier over here in our neck of the woods, but they are making their presence known. And we'll get a foul against the Lancers.
I'll tell you what, it sounds almost a little louder over here, Phil.
Yeah, we're gonna get a warning. So a warning on number 11, that's gonna be Preston Judd, the leading scorer for the Lancers. And yeah, well, yeah, they've got the roof above them, so that sound is concaving down towards the field. So if we didn't have that beautiful platform over there, I would assume the Havocs would relocate over here permanently because of how loud they can get. Smith, Malik Smith coming in for GCU. He's been in for past couple minutes. Jella tripped and he's down.
Looks like he's holding his wrist there, trying to break his fall. He kind of just slid really awkwardly on that one in the grass. You can see the wetness kind of taking control.
So we're going to take another look at Marco Alfonso's goal, the goal that got us pretty fired up and everybody else fired up, but called back due to offsides. And I mean, a beautifully placed ball by Ramirez, and the header, no good, but I mean, Alfonso's right there, just boots it right in, but he was offsides. But a good look by the Lopes and Marco Alfonso as Jackson Jella gets tended to. Hopefully he is okay. His wrist is definitely in pain, and I think you're right on his slide, trying to break his fall. He might have rolled his wrist a little bit. I have no idea, but Jella is still down.
Well, when he was falling, it looked to me from up here like he was trying to kind of catch himself, but he sort of slipped with the wetness or something happened, and he fell down and just landed on that wrist weirdly. That's the first thing he grabbed right when he started to come up. So hopefully he'll be all right. Hopefully he can return to the game. Certainly a driving force in this Lopes team. Hopefully he can stay healthy.
So we look over at the other side of the Havocs here. They are all still on the platform.
Those are true GCU fans, rain or shine.
Well, very committed, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
Extremely committed no matter what the weather. And
go big or go home, I always say.
Got the flags up there. Of course, some body paint. Then we've got the other side of the Havocs who made their way over to here, still a part of the same. They were over on the platform, decided to make their way over here. Jella making his way off the field. Looks like he's okay. So Jella will come out, and the Lopes will get a substitution. See if they can get a score here as Josh Drack gets ready for the free kick. Jella talking to Heineman. Kick in the air, and picked up. Ramirez looking to get it. He'll get it to Soris. We'll get a goal kick. Oh, Jella back in the game. How about that right away? Drack pushing up the field. Drack. Alfonso. Is he going to get his second goal this time? Kicks it ahead. Jella. Oh, nice moves. Drack the header. Oh.
And a beautiful sequence of events ends in a missed shot. But I'll tell you what, Phil, that was exciting to see. Jella with a great move, confused everyone right there, and unfortunately they just could not finish.
So Jella We'll get another look at that goal attempt by the Lopes. Jella, first that move, I mean, just dirty. And he kicks it ahead, and well, Drac was there for the header, just sent it a little too high.
Just a little bit off. But that's what you like to see as a Lopes fans, them continuing to push forward, especially early in the game, and continuing to get those good looks. As there's a Lancer down.
So we've got a Cal Baptist player down on the pitch.
Slammed his hand on the ground, and now he's got a fellow teammate talking to him. I'm not sure if there's an injury. But they're going to take a look at him.
So we've got a Lancer down on the pitch, and I mean, you got to assume with such slick field conditions, you know, guys are going to take falls that they usually don't take just because the traction is a little bit bad, even though, you know, you've got a soccer cleat and you've got those little prongs.
Well,
but for the most part, you can't really control.
Absolutely, and Mother Nature is ruthless. You never know what's going to come, and always having to shift your game both mentally and physically when there's severe rain like this. Eventually, injuries are an unfortunate result of that.
Well, thankfully, he is getting up. That is number 21. That's Linus Manson, and he is all right, thankfully. Everybody okay here now at the GCU Stadium. We're a little wet, but we're all good. Manson will come off as we continue play. A goal kick from Escoin. Albert Escoin from Spain kicks it away for the Lancers.
Tom Shepard is going to come on for the Lancers.
Yeah, Shepard will come in as a substitution, and
sophomore out of West Virginia getting some playing time. I'm sorry, that's Sebastian Weisbach that just came in out of Germany. He's going to get his minutes in right now.
Andreu, Jella the shot, Escoin is right there. You know, the added bonus that that both sides have is the fact that the ball is slick.
Absolutely.
So if that thing comes out of the hands of the goalie's gloves, big opportunities.
Well, Mother Nature is a neutralizer. No matter what, you're both teams are playing at a disadvantage here.
I'm hoping that rain has got a little bit of a purple hue to it, because the Lopes can definitely maybe take advantage of that ball sliding through Escoin's hands, and maybe Marco Afonso being on the other side, ready to pop that one back in like he did earlier. That one's off for Dia. Ramirez will pick it up. Gardner. Andreu looking to advance it. He will to Jella. Ramirez downfield. Wilton through the legs of Radia. That one kicked ahead. Garner. Smith. And the Lopes have it on the outside.
Aside from that Preston Judd miss that we saw earlier, California Baptist, excuse me, has been a little bit quiet on the offensive side.
Afonso with an open look. No clearance, rebound. Radia. Afonso. He's had his opportunities all night. Lancers take it back over. Lancers trying to be patient, take their opportunities when they come. Weisbach kicks it ahead. Judd headed away by Ramirez. Judd back with it. Radia.
Judd took a little slide on the grass there. If he wasn't wet before, he's definitely soaked now.
So substitution for the Lancers, that's number 18, Griffin McDaniel. And I just want to point out that Justin Rasmussen has made his way to the pitch for the Lopes. We get some more substitutions for both teams. Get you caught up here. A kick to head. Day, far side now for the Lancers. Tesorius is there to scoop it up.
The ball is starting to take a couple weird bounces with the grass being so wet. It's going to be important that those Lopes keep those passes tight and short.
Thrown in again. Malik Smith will get a substitution for the GCU Lopes. Marco Alfonso checks out, and Calvin Kissy finds his first minutes of the game.
Calvin Kissy getting a chance to work himself back into that starting lineup.
Now we know Calvin Kissy has been struggling a little bit, but he still leads this team in goals.
Well, there's no doubt about it. He's definitely a dominant player. He has all of the skills and all of the potential in the world. He's just in a bit of a slump, and you know what? When that happens, sometimes the coach says, you know what? You can take a breather. We'll take you out of the starting rotation, and eventually we'll get you back in there.
And Calvin's got everything going for him. He's a freshman. He's still got a long time here at GCU to be that go-to scorer. Josh Drack is a sophomore, so he'll get his opportunities to sort of feed off of Josh Drack. As Drack was moved to forward in the beginning of this season, we'll get a foul for the Lopes, so goal kick, or I'm sorry, excuse me, a corner kick for the Lancers. But you know, Lopes have some young scorers. We talked about earlier in the first game of the season who was going to replace Nicky Jackson, and the assumption would be that maybe Josh Drack moving to forward would be that goal scorer for the Lopes.
Right.
But they have found an absolute gem in Calvin Kissy.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, they're a young team, so they have so much potential going into the future for the rest of the season and for the future seasons. They're going to be good, and they're going to be fun to watch. Those two names, Kissy and Drack, do not forget them.
Yeah,
we'll be calling their names a lot.
Exactly. Kissy, a freshman, and Drack, just a sophomore. So we've got at least 2 more years of Drack and 3 more of Kissy. And George Tesorius, also a freshman. So
3 young freshman stars that are really helping glue this Lopes team together.
And while we were reminiscing about the future, that ball was sent into the out-of-bounds area, so the Lopes will handle a goal kick. And speaking of George Tesorius, there he is.
Yeah, good to see that little injury he had earlier did not stop him from playing. He's still healthy, still out there, still leading these Lopes.
Yeah, George Tesorius coming into this game with 33 saves on the season. Tesorius clears it ahead to Smith.
Being a freshman goalkeeper, that's got to be a lot of pressure on there out of a Division I program.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, but also maybe a little more pressure comes off Coach Heinman because he can rely on the freshmen. And having somebody that good back there for 3 more years gives you a little bit more comfort, especially with a lot of these guys we had last season who were here but are no longer on the team due, you know, Nicky Jackson got drafted, Amir Sasaverovich got drafted, a couple guys transferred.
Well, absolutely. It shows the amount of trust the coach has in his players to place all that on the young team.
Right. Lopes are looking good. Good young squad, looking to take the whack and hopefully make their way to the big dance. That one's in the air, it'll soar out of bounds.
Rain continues to fall here at GCU Stadium.
So Tesorius in the 34th minute will give us a goal kick. Smith. Smith downfield. Rasmussen looking for space, gets it to Kissy. Kissy looking for clearance, he'll get it stolen. Ramirez trying to pick it up, and we'll get a foul. Quick start for the Lancers, kick downfield. Day gets it to Tesouris. Gardner. Wilton hit, but no call. Wilton still on his knees down on the field. He slowly gets up. Gardner heads it. Wilton may have met somebody's shoulder while he was going for the ball as Andreu draws the foul against the Lancers.
Once again, remember there will be no halftime activities tonight due to the field conditions, so no halftime scrimmage and kids, no kicking goals tonight.
Once again, fans a little disappointed that the
Yeah.
halftime activities, the scrimmages going on between the youth soccer, unfortunately have been canceled due to the conditions.
Gardner clears it. Yeah, we'll have no halftime festivities. Thank you. Jeez.
Always got your back, Phil. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. Lancers with a shot. Gardner will clear it as I get my head together. Aguirre. Yokonosko kicks it over. Jello was coming over for it, but Lancer's able to nab it from him. Weisbach, the shot. Tesouris is there to scoop it up. Two saves for Tesouris. That makes it 35 on the season for George. Was named WAC Defensive Player of the Week not too long ago. One of these key young pieces for the Lopes. Radia. To Gardner. Off the boot and out of bounds. So substitutions for the Lancers. Kaylee Powers will check in. And Oliver Brinius will check out. Jella, no good. Lancers will take over. Lancers with an opportunity. Kicked ahead. Day on the defense. Back up top. Kicked away. And the Lopes will take over. Great defense in the box by the Lopes. Jella on the outside to Andreu. Kicked ahead to Smith. Smith over to Gardner.
Great defensive execution. Like you said earlier, Phil, defense wins games.
Tesouris picks it up. So another opportunity squandered by George Tesouris as he keeps the Lancers off the board. Kissy with it. Radia to Ramirez. Radia. Hawkinstan, and out of bounds. One kicked ahead. Kissy will not come to get it. Shot to Soris, will get it again.
Love to see Calvin Kissy get going here. Really see if he can prove himself that he deserves to be in the starting lineup, which he does, more than capable of.
Yeah, he definitely does. Well, like you said, just players struggle. They have their ups and downs, and Calvin Kissy has unfortunately been on the wrong side of downs, and hopefully he can pick it back up and find his way back to the starting lineup. He's got time. He's a great player.
Got plenty of time, and you know what? Division I athletes are human too. It happens.
Smith with it on the far side. Jella. Radia kicks it out and
got sort of tripped up there as it goes out of bounds.
Radia went vertical on that one.
Yeah, looked a little scary, but good to see that he's all right.
Wilton coming in on the defense. Throw in for the Lancers. Headered.
No foul called. Oh, and there will be.
So we'll have a foul on the Lopes.
A little bit of a late whistle there.
And we'll get a free kick for the Lancers. Lopes will head to San Jose, California in their next game. That'll be Friday, October 5th, as they take on San Jose State. And that is another save for George Soris. Jella on the far side, taken away. Two minutes remain in the first period. Lopes still up 1-0.
Lancers and the Lopes each have 9 fouls. Pretty evenly matched there.
I'll tell you what, there could have been a lot more. There was a few calls that weren't.
Oh, absolutely. The refs have
a little questionable.
Let a couple of those calls go, letting the players play. Get a little aggressive.
Weisbach. Kissy up to Soris. We'll get a goal kick. Sends it downfield. Headered by Rasmussen. Kissy.
Fighting for it. Looking for space. Can't find it as it rolls out of bounds.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
There'll be a foul on the Lancers, so the Lopes will keep possession as the clock winds down.
What do you say, Lopes fans? Let's count it down. 10, 9,
So the clock will wind down, and the Lopes will look to continue this shutout after halftime as we approach that time of the game. It is halftime here at GCU Stadium. The rain is coming down, and the players will get a break. And when we come back, we'll get you our keys and thoughts so far.
From the first half of this game, yes, it's been an exciting one. Don't go anywhere.
And with that, we will be right back. You're watching men's soccer here on GCU TV.
Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable, and nonprofit. Visit gcu.edu.
Feel the thunder in the heart of Phoenix. GCULopes.com.
Time. It's time for laughter and for play. Time for celebration and adventure. Summer is the time to share moments and create memories. Time to make the most of the long days and warm nights full of laughter and light and moments to remember. It's time you slowed down, time you switched off and forgot about time. When we look back on the life we create, the relationships we've nurtured, and the young ones we've raised, let this be the time we remember. GCU's online degree program puts you first, so you can make the most of your time. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Our armed forces' heroism, courage, and bravery give greater meaning to what it is to be an American. Grand Canyon University honors you and pays tribute to you and your family. As a community, GCU celebrates your service, your sacrifice, and your commitment. God bless all the brave men and women who put our country first. We want to do the same for you. GCU puts you first with its flexible and convenient online degree programs. We salute you and thank you for your service.
Welcome inside the GCU Soccer Stadium for halftime here against the Cal Baptist Lancers and your Grand Canyon University Lopes. The Havocs have made their way from the platform over to our side, the stadium area of the stadium. And we see a lonely Packers fan hanging out over on the platform. Probably a pretty exciting day for him. The Lopes are winning, and I think the Packers beat the Bills today, so it should be a good day for him so far.
Yeah, not too bad. You got a little bit of a rain in the desert here, and overall, kind of an exciting game for the Lopes. Really coming out strong and showing those Lancers all the offensive talent they've got.
And just in case you missed all that offensive talent, let's take a look at our GCU Hotel halftime highlights. We'll start out here, Josh Drack. This was the first attempt, and it was a missed goal by Marco Alfonso. It looked like it got the backside of his foot, but just went a little too far.
And next up is that ankle biter with the goalie. He just kind of collided right there with that Lancer.
And then right here, Marco Alfonso off the foot of Albert Escoin for the first goal of the game for the Lopes in both teams. And then this one right here, a little weird of a play. We're not sure if it was the contact with the goalie or maybe Alfonso was offsides that brought that one back, but the score went from 2-0 to 1-0 again, and it's remained that way ever since. But Alfonso was fired up, and we were fired up, and then we were really fired up about this one. Preston Judd, first shot, George Sissori saves it, and then the 12th man, the crossbar, saying, no bueno.
I'll tell you what, it was absolutely not meant to be. Call it God, call it fate, whatever you want. That goal was not happening no matter what.
You see some of the players who were supposed to be a part of the halftime festivities here. Of course, those were called in terms of the safety on the field for the players. It was just, you know, it's a safety issue. Want to make sure that everybody's nice and safe. And, you know, we'll get things going here very soon. But they're finding their fun behind the goal, where you will find the Havocs later tonight as the Lopes switch sides. And you can see the rain coming down pretty hard here in Phoenix, Arizona. And that's right, folks. It does rain in the desert, and it's raining pretty good so far.
Oh, absolutely. It's been entertaining to watch as the teams try to adjust to this wet weather, the wet field, the ball taking some nasty hops. Some of the players, you know, tripping up, sliding everywhere. But luckily, everyone's okay. And even those little guys out there are saying, we want to play too. Let's play in the rain.
Well, the Lopes are getting ready to play, and they played on Friday against Bakersfield, which resulted in a 2-0 loss. But they are back home to looking to rebound against Cal Baptist. In case you missed that game on Friday, here is tonight's Lopes halftime report.
Many of the men's soccer players were joined by the heroes of the Run to Fight Children's Cancer event held in March. The men's team took on Cal State Bakersfield, their second WAC opponent, and their 5th home game to start out WAC play, and resulted in a 2-0 loss thanks to 2 goals by Tom Shepard in the 11th minute and Ryan Goldsmith in the 65th minute. The men's team moved to 1-1 in the WAC and looked to get a win today against Cal Baptist at home. I'm Phil Katafimo. That's your Lopes report. Back to you.
And thank you for that one, Phil.
No problem. I'm pulling double duty.
Yeah, that was great, but unfortunately they did lose on Friday. But right now, tonight, coming out of that half, they're going to be up 1-0. It's going to be interesting to see how they can finish off this game, taking the momentum into the second half.
Well, hopefully they will be able to carry that momentum. Of course, an early goal by Marco Alfonso really set the table for the Lopes early, and then for the most part, the opportunities have been there for GCU, but a couple, obviously that missed call, that contact with the goalie, or the offsides call on Marco Alfonso brought the score down, but the Lopes are looking to keep the lead. And Dominic, how are the Lopes going to keep the lead when we take another look at our Sanderson Ford 3 keys to the game?
All right, yes, the 3 keys to the game brought to you by Sanderson Ford are: there's a rare difficulty at home for the Lopes. Like we mentioned earlier, the last 2 matches in a row, the game's first shot was a goal by the opponent here at home, which is unusual to be playing in front of such a big Lopes crowd. So they need to get back into winning at home. They need to score first, which they've already done, taking that momentum, not playing from behind. They also need to set pieces for Josh Drack. Drack has not scored a goal, but he has been very, very influential in the Lopes going up 1-0 into halftime. I think I'd love to see Calvin Kissy get in there a little bit, and Alfonso continuing to dominate this entire game. I think if they keep to all of those keys, they could come out with a W right here.
Well, we'll see if the Lopes can keep things going. Marco Alfonso with the early goal, like you said, get Josh Drack going. Maybe just even use Josh Drack as a decoy and set some things up for some other players. They were finding some success early on, getting ahead, and hopefully they are going to stay ahead. And we will find out all of that and more when we come back. We'll wrap up halftime and begin the second half. You're watching men's soccer here on GCU TV.
Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable, and nonprofit. Visit gcu.edu.
Our armed forces' heroism, courage, and bravery give greater meaning to what it is to be an American. Grand Canyon University honors you and pays tribute to you and your family. As a community, GCU celebrates your service, your sacrifice, and your commitment. God bless all the brave men and women who put our country first. We want to do the same for you. GCU puts you first with its flexible and convenient online degree programs. We salute you and thank you for your service.
Back here live at the GCU Soccer Stadium where the Lopes look to keep their 1-0 lead. We can see one of the Lopes players warming up. That's Brandon Johnson. Finding his way, keeping fresh and trying to stay, I would assume, a little warm with the rain coming down.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure they're trying to stay as dry as possible. Lopes spending as much time as they can inside the locker room because it's coming down out there. And with the rain comes all the disadvantages of it. Of course, the ball sliding everywhere. We mentioned a couple players getting tripped up. Luckily, no one's hurt, but teams will continue to make adjustment to this weather. And we'll keep you posted if anything changes.
Well, the California Baptist Lancers are also making their way out to the field as they begin their warm-ups as well. The Lopes trying to keep everybody warm and trying to keep everybody dry as possible, as we know it is coming down pretty good here in the GCU arena or stadium.
Yeah, it looks like we are hitting the back end of a storm going through Phoenix, and halftime festivities were unfortunately canceled, but those little Rugrats are continuing to play behind the goal out there, and you know what? The GCU Lopes are going to continue to play their game as well.
Well, George Tesouris and Corey Marquise getting warmed up, trying to stay fresh. Current temperature right now, 72 degrees. Obviously, it is raining. Shouldn't stop raining until Wednesday, so get used to this, folks. It's going to be a wet week in Arizona, and we'll see if the Lopes can keep the W's going and get a win here at home after a loss against Bakersfield against California Baptist Lancers. You're watching men's soccer here on GCU TV.
Time. It's time for laughter and for play. Time for celebration and adventure. Summer is the time to share moments and create memories. Time to make the most of the long days and warm nights full of laughter and light and moments to remember. It's time you slowed down, time you switched off and forgot about time. When we look back on the life we create, the relationships we've nurtured, and the young ones we've raised, let this be the time we remember. GCU's online degree program puts you first, so you can make the most of your time. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University.
Referees conversing before we get the second half going, and Dom, the Lopes had a couple opportunities in the box, but what do they have to do to really kind of execute and put in another goal on the board?
Well, I think in order to continue with this momentum and get another goal on the board, they're definitely going to need to keep those passes short. They're going to need to keep them tight and crisp with this rain coming down. But on top of that, they really need to get Calvin Kissy going. He's got his minutes in here. It's up to him to really earn that starting spot back. But Josh Drack just needs to continue to be a dominant force, really opening up. Even though he hasn't scored yet, he's opened up plenty of opportunities for his teammates to really get some good looks. And Marco Afonso needs to continue really just pushing the goal, pushing up there. He's had two opportunities, one of which we thought was a goal that got taken back, but I think he's really hungry to get that one.
It's been pretty even so far in terms of the stat line. The Lopes with 6 shots, the Lancers with 5. Both teams with 3 shots on goals. Lopes 3 saves, the Lancers with 2. And the Lopes and Lancers pretty close in terms of fouls, 9 and 10 on both sides respectively. And well, you can tell the scorer says something else, but George Tesouris is doing a fantastic job in the box for the Lopes.
Oh, absolutely. He's been aggressive all game, and even on a play that almost resulted in him getting injured, but he's all right. He's definitely leading that defensive front for the Lopes, being very vocal out there, not letting the rain get in the way, and really just being as strong as leader as you can. Big freshman name and be interesting to see how he comes out the second half to lead the Lopes defense.
3 shutouts for George Tesori so far as a Lope. And you look at these teams, the Lopes looking to stay as sharp as possible as Coach Heineman gets the team rallied and ready to go. Probably a similar set to who will be out there for GCU in terms of a new look for this second half. Kissy's out there, Andreo, Drac, Alfonso, Radia, Ramirez, Day, Gardner, and Malik Smith. And then obviously Tesori's is still back there for the Lopes. So a new look for GCU.
But it's great to see Calvin Kissy getting to start this second half, really
yeah.
take that momentum from the end of the last half into this one, really see if he can earn his starting spot back. And I'll tell you what, it's just a matter of time before he starts to break out in this game. And
I don't want to say too early that Calvin Kissy's been fully removed from the starting lineup, maybe more just for this game.
Well, absolutely. I wouldn't say at all if he's fully removed. But he definitely has all the potential and the possibility in the world. And like we said earlier, deserves to be in the starting lineup.
So Preston Judd will get things going as the Lancers take over. They send one downfield. Austin Day trying to get it, won't go to it. It'll go out of bounds, and that's how we start the second half. Kissy trying to clear space. Through the legs. Kissy up to Jella. Jella's got the speed on the inside. Looking across. Headered. Drac. Good defense in the box right away. Jordan Lane getting his body in front of that one, and we'll get a corner kick for the Lopes.
And immediately right out the gate, the Lopes come firing on all cylinders, putting that pressure on the California Baptist defense.
Drac will corner kick. Drac sends it away. Doesn't find anybody, but Alfonso will come and get it. Gets it back to Drac, stolen by the Lancers. Drac will get it back. Boots it to Alfonso. Alfonso battling in the corner for it, and it looks like the Lancers will win that battle. Day. Smith intercepts it. Smith looking to clear it. He gets it on his ankle and it goes out of bounds. Soris will get it in the Lopes, keeping the Lancers off the board.
And another great save by Tesori's. Absolutely making a name for himself, this freshman.
Kissy.
Tripped up there.
Yeah, we'll get a foul.
Good to see him standing up. Looked like he hit that ground pretty hard.
So Kissy is okay as he moves his way into position in the box. Alex Radia will handle the free kick. We'll see if the Lopes can take advantage here and get back on the board. Radia kicks it. Alfonso. Back to Radia. Radia high in the air, not going to find anybody. Jella maybe can make something happen with it. And it'll be Lancer ball, so that one goes out of bounds.
Yeah, that one just a little too high, not finding any of the Lopes there.
Andreo. He'll get the call. It'll be a foul again on the Lancers.
That is the 12th foul for the California Baptist Lancers, compared to the nine fouls GCU has.
Smith. Downfield, looking for Kissy. Yeah, it should be an easy grab for Escoin. Jella, a lot of contact. That one will hook and go out of bounds. Tesori's with the goal kick. Tesori's downfield.
A big kick there.
Alfonso. Ramirez with it. Back to Alfonso. Smith on the far side to Alfonso. Kissy in the box, Day and Drack. And we'll get a foul on the Lopes.
Yeah, a little bit too much on that slide there. Was not clean at all. Ref was all over that one. The rain continues to pour down here at GCU Stadium.
Smith. Lopes pushing the ball upfield. Jella. Jella boots it up to Drack. Drack. Across field, looking for Kissy. He won't find him. It'll go out of bounds. So goal kick for the Lancers, sends it downfield. Radia heads it, or I should say faces it.
Wore that one right off the face.
I got all schnoz on that one. Jella. Oh, nifty moves. Jackson Jella on the inside. Sent high and way too far. It goes out of bounds.
Jella with some beautiful footwork there, but got a little slipped up the end and sent that one way out of bounds. Had great speed and great momentum on that one.
And that's what Jackson Jella's got. He's got that breakaway speed where he can really clear through defenders and give himself that kind of space to take. He had a good look, just maybe a little too much leg on it.
Absolutely, and he's got great footwork, is able to create that space himself. That ball out of bounds.
Yeah, that was Hawkins dude who had a good look, and he got the almost got it in. It was to Preston Judd, and Judd booted it out of bounds, but we'll get a corner kick now for the Lancers, as the Lopes look to keep California Baptist off the score chart. George Ionesco will handle the corner kick for the Lancers. In the air, clears through everybody. Gonzalez hustling over for it. Second chance. Radia will clear it. It'll be Lopes' ball, so throw in now, and that'll be handled by Austin Day. Drac to Day. Day almost loses it. No call. Jella. And we'll get a foul on the Lopes.
It's going to be GCU's 11th foul compared to California Baptist's 12.
Alfonso on the outside. Lancers threatening now. Gonzalez. No call again, as Gardner will clear it to Drac. Drac kicks it ahead. Alfonso.
Radia pushing it up.
And Radia looking for space. Day is there. Drac. Ramirez. Ramirez ahead, headed away. And Radia picks it up. Gets it up to Kissy, the shot, and Echo in is there to pick it up.
Not a bad plan for Kissy there, really trying to get in there, get a little physical, but just could not fall his way. But great to see the Lopes continuing to push.
Alfonso. Now Drac with it. Lancers kick it ahead. Lopes will clear it. And out of bounds. Julian Armaroli will check in for the Lopes as Austin Day checks out. Throw in for the Lancers. And Lopes ball.
Lopes continuing to stay physical this entire match. Really great to see them continuing to apply pressure to California Baptist.
Well, it was such a close game. You really can't let up at all.
Oh, absolutely. Once you start firing on all cylinders, you cannot take your foot off that gas. Fonzo's got it. Gonna give it back to Radia. Fonzo moving forward. And the shot.
And out of bounds.
That one got me a little excited there. I thought he was gonna get that goal back. That got taken away from him, but that one just a little bit too high.
Yeah. Not a bad look, just sent a little too far up. The opportunities have been there for Marco Alfonso. As we take a look at his stat line. 2 shots, 1 shot on goal, and of course the only goal of the game. Technically, I'm going to put it in there as Marco Alfonso has 2 goals, but it was called back.
Oh, absolutely. That one, the second one was beautiful. Got us the entire GCU stadium on their feet. Fortunately, was called back. So if I'm Marco Alfonso, I'm hungry to take that goal back, take what's rightfully mine, put another one in the back of the net.
And Marco came into this game with no goals. Now he finally gets his only goal so far on the season. Hopefully more to come as we are just now entering WAC play. So a lot more of the season to be played. And Marco Alfonso doing his best to give the Lopes the lead. Amaroli, downfield. Drac gets it over to Jella. Back to Amaroli.
Jella with that footwork does an excellent job of creating his own space. Very key skill to have.
That one kicked across field to Jella. Amaroli, who just got ahead of it as Drac touches it, but it goes out of bounds, so the Lopes will keep possession. Amaroli. And out of bounds. Throw in now for the Lopes. Jella boots it ahead, a little too far and out of bounds.
Now, if you're the Lopes, you cannot stop pushing right now. You got to absolutely carry this momentum. Don't let the rain discourage you. Don't let anything else get in your head. All you got to think about is winning this match right here.
Lancers still threatening. Outside, Amaroli trying to get it. And George Cesaris again.
An absolute monster at the goal. That freshman came out there looking like a veteran. Not afraid to step up to the plate and really be a leader on this defense.
So corner kick for the Lancers. Yonosko trying to tie this game up in the air. Too far.
A little bit too much on that one.
And it'll be Lopes' ball.
I'll tell you what, we see these young Lopes play. George Tesori, Josh Drack, Marco Afonso, Calvin Kissy, all of them who are relatively younger on this team. They play with such confidence and such grace that you would think they've been in the Division I level for a while.
Yeah, it's nice to get confidence from such young players, that mature mentality from guys who really don't have a lot of Division I experience. And you see it out there on the field. Drack, a leader on the team. Kissy, new to the team, another guy who's going to be a field general out there. And then the man in the box, George Tesoris, is an absolute monster. You know, these are pieces you build a program around, and some great history from this Lopes soccer program, and it's only getting better. Yonosko kicks it ahead. Tesoris punches it out. Afonso.
A little bit of an altercation going on between Tesori and one of the California Baptist players there, exchanging a few words.
Drack gets it up to Afonso. Afonso cross field. Jella gonna have to come and get it. It'll be headed out. Amaroli will handle the throw-in. Kissy ahead, Radia. He's going to have to hustle for it. Radia. Kissy. Kissy on the second chance. Gets it to Drack, left foot, and it'll be kept in front of Escoin for another save.
An interesting series of events leading up to a California Baptist save. Couple of opportunities there, but just could not capitalize for the Lopes.
And a late call.
You almost think on that shot by Calvin Kissy, his foot just kind of slipped up from underneath him. I wonder if that had anything to do with the field being wet.
Afonso. Radia downfield, maybe looking for Jella. Jella, bicycle kick. Oh, what a great save by Albert Escoin. And an even better bicycle kick by Jackson Jella, but Escoin punches it out and it goes out of bounds. We'll take another look at that great save by Albert Escoin.
And we thought we were about to get a SportsCenter top 10 play right there as he bicycle kicks it and just barely the ball is saved.
Giving me flashbacks of Jaime Dolores' basically game-winning goal against Creighton. As Jackson Jella does his best impression. Drack, Lopes second chance, he puts it in! Malik Smith on the corner kick by Josh Drack puts it in, and the Lopes lead 2-0.
And that Lopes goal right there shows that every single piece of the puzzle is working as Malik Smith, a player who we have barely mentioned this game, comes up huge with that goal. And then Josh Drack sets it up perfectly. We've been talking about him all game, giving other teammates opportunities to score, and we see that right there.
And we'll get another look at that great goal by Malik Smith, his first of the season. Actually, that's Jackson Jella, his bicycle kick, but why not take another look at it? Great save by Albert Escoin.
And Malik Smith helps him out after that missed bicycle kick.
We'll get another look this time at the goal by Malik Smith, his first of the season. In just a little bit, we get some substitutions for the Lopes.
But great offensive execution by the Lopes on that one. Josh Drack setting Malik Smith up perfectly.
So we'll get another look at the corner piece, and Drack, it gets through Kissy, but how about Malik Smith right there to put it in? And we talked about having guys on that outside to take advantage of opportunities once it gets clear through the goalies.
Oh, absolutely, and it shows right there that when you take advantage of those outsides, eventually goals are going to start falling your way.
And Malik Smith with his first goal. And the Lopes lead 2-0 in the 68th minute. Smith kicks it downfield. Drack heads it. Kissy kicks it ahead. Another chance maybe. No Besko is there to pick it up. Well, we talk about rebounding, and the Lopes were shut out 2-0 against Bakersfield. Now they're the ones shutting out California Baptist at home, and they needed a big rebound here in WAC play.
And absolutely, we talked about that at the beginning of the game with our Sanders and Ford's 3 keys of the game, and they've executed them perfectly. They've had a rare difficulty at home, but you know what? They came out and they scored early and often in front of this home crowd, really just dominating this game.
Oh, Jello wrapped up there. And we're going to get a call here. Obvious yellow card on number 23, George Ionesco.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's just common sense right there, and the ref is just going to give him that warning.
Jello wrapped up. Oh, I think he's going to get. Yeah, Preston Judd chiming in a little bit.
Might give him that red card right there. We'll see.
We're going to see what he officially gets. But Ionesco.
Preston Judd, the leader in goals in the WAC, getting a little heated as this game continues.
Jello boots it out of bounds.
So fun fact, 2 Lopes that have not scored all season scored their first goals tonight in Marco Alfonso and Malik Smith.
Well, you never know where your offense is going to come from, and thankfully for Coach Heineman, it can come from anybody at any time. As like you just said, Dominic, Marco Alfonso and Malik Smith, both no goals on the season, and both with goals today.
Absolutely. We talked about before the game Josh Drack being such a huge key, but you know he's given plenty of opportunities for his teammates to step up as well.
That one will go out of bounds, so corner kick for the California Baptist Lancers as they find themselves down 2-0 as we head almost to the end of the 69th minute into the 70th here in the second half. Lancers looking again on the board. Lopes looking to extend their lead even more and make this game even further out of reach than it is now. That one's downfield, cleared out and out of bounds, so we'll get another corner kick.
Going to be the 4th corner kick for California Baptist.
So that yellow card on George Ionesco. And we'll see what the Lopes can do with the throw-in. Julian Armaroli will get subbed out for Austin Day. Get some more defense out on the pitch for the Lopes. That'll go off the Lancers, so the Lopes will retain possession.
That ball sails almost into the stands. But it will be a Lancers throw-in.
Track. Smith fighting for it. He'll kick it out of bounds.
So going to be another corner kick for the Lancers, their 5th of the game. We're going to have a substitution as well for California Baptist as Victor Aguirre has come in for Matthias Binder.
Tesorius with the goal kick as we enter the 73rd minute. And we'll get a yellow card.
Not sure what that one was on, but the clock stopped. The yellow card was given, so.
It'll be a yellow card on Tesorius. Oh, for time wasting. It looks like Tesorius took too long.
So an interesting call there.
Alfonso trying to get some space. He'll get it. Oh, and he's pulled down. Obvious call. And another yellow card issued to the Lancers.
So we have seen that yellow warning card get pulled up.
And we'll get another look at it. Obviously, Marco Alfonso pulled down on that one. And it's a quick draw to the book for the referee. So Drac will handle the free kick. Lopes looking to load the box and extend their lead in the 73rd minute. In the air. Lopes unable to convert. Jackson Jella still with it. Jella with nifty moves on the right side. Unable to get it. Play still live for the Lopes. Ramirez. And
the Lopes with a great opportunity there, unable to capitalize.
So an opportunity squandered for the Lopes, and it looks like Albert Escoin is down on the pitch for the Lancers.
It's like the athletic training staff is going to come out there and give him a look real quick. But on that last sequence there, it absolutely looked like GCU had the potential to capitalize. Almost looked like an empty net for a second.
So we see some more fans hanging out on the platform. A couple more have joined that little tribe, and of course, the Packers fan is there, and
he's got some friends now.
He's got some buddies there. We know the guy with the flannel and the shirtless flannel, that is Titus, a.k.a. Gavin, if you're Scott Van Pelt. One of the Havoc's leaders. A couple of the other ones out there.
I'll tell you what, it is a bold move being shirtless in this rain.
With the body paint, too. It hasn't run. Yeah, that's some waterproof body paint.
Absolutely. Said this earlier, but go big or go home. That's how the Havocs do it.
So Escoin is still down on the pitch as we get a injury timeout. Coach Heineman discussing with the players maybe the strategy to add another goal and keep the Lancers off the board.
I'll tell you what, though, as a Lopes fan, this game has been exciting to watch, and it's exactly what they needed after coming off of that loss to Cal State Bakersfield. if they can get this 2-0 shutout here, this will be an absolute huge game for them, especially so early on in WAC play.
Escoen's back up on his feet. Now, I'm not sure if Escoen is going to come out of the game, but the Lancers do have two other goalkeepers on the roster. Gage Rogers, who is a sophomore from Gilbert, Arizona, ironically, and Daniel Navarro from California, and he's back down.
Yeah, that's not looking good. As a lot of the California Baptist team goes running up to him, he just collapsed right there.
Escoen has collapsed on the pitch. And hopefully Escoen is okay. We're not entirely sure what has happened, but Albert Escoen is down on the field.
Our thoughts and prayers are with him as he had a sudden collapse all of a sudden.
Never a good thing when you see a player collapse on the pitch or on the field, court, anything. You never, ever want to see this. And hopefully we'll be talking about Albert Escoen getting up on his own power, and Card has come out to pick him up.
Absolutely, regardless of what team you root for, no matter what.
We're going to take a quick break as we get everything solved. When we get back, we'll get to the rest of this game. You're watching men's soccer here on GCU TV.
Time. It's time for laughter and for play. Time for celebration and adventure. Summer is the time to share moments and create memories. And when we look back on the life we create, the relationships we've nurtured, and the young ones we've raised, let this be the time we remember. GCU's online degree program puts you first, so you can make the most of your time. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University.
Coach Heineman rallying the troops as the Lopes look to extend their 2-0 lead here in the 74th minute. Albert Escoen, goalkeeper for the California Baptist Lancers, is making his way up.
Slowly but surely. Unfortunately, the cart was brought out.
We can see down there with Coach Heineman getting the guys ready as everybody got to keep the focus here. You hope that Albert Escoen is going to be okay. It looks like he will be, but very, very strange night tonight. Rain coming down here in Phoenix, but the focus has got to remain on finishing this game for the Lopes. And Coach Heineman trying to keep the guys focused. Of course, you never want to see a fellow player on the field. And I'll say this, Albert Escoen is standing up on his own power. He has made his way to the cart. He will be fine. And it is good to see him on that cart, moving around and getting ready to come off the field. We hope that he has a speedy recovery with whatever happened. And we hope that we get to see him for the rest of the season back in the box. And for now, Gage Rogers will come in, the sophomore out of Gilbert, Arizona, transfer from Oregon State, will be the goalkeeper for the Lancers as we give our best wishes to Albert Escoen. And Gage Rogers comes in. So a new look for the Lancers here as we take a look at Gage Rogers, who is on your screen right now. We enter the 74th minute as play begins to resume here at GCU Stadium.
Lopes fans sharing their love as well.
It is good to see him moving around on that cart. He is making his way with some of the medical staff, and you can hear the round of applause. And we wish a speedy and healthy recovery to Albert Escoen, coming into this game with 23 saves for the Lancers, and now Gage Rogers will come in. 10 saves for him. 2 wins, 1 loss, and 1 shutout for the sophomore out of Gilbert, Arizona, as he sends that one out of bounds.
Hopefully GCU can finish out this game strong, gather a little bit momentum.
Well, it'll be a throw-in now for the Lopes as we kind of reset here.
Ramirez will handle the throw in for GCU. He gets it into Kissy. And it goes out of bounds. So we'll get another throw in for the Lopes. Ramirez tosses it in. That's Wilton. And he boots it out of bounds. So still Lopes possession. Ramirez will throw it in once again. He'll get it back to Wilton. Wilton with some space to Afonso. Afonso looking for his second goal. On the rebound, out of bounds. So another collision down in the box.
But a lot of excitement on the Lopes end right there as they get another good look like they've had all game.
So we'll get a corner kick as Josh Drack heads to the far side corner. And last time the Lopes were down in the corner, they scored a Malik Smith goal. And instead, it'll be Alfonso. Lopes going for a little trickery. Drack. Back to Alfonso. Wilton, the shot off of Rogers. So Gage Rogers making his presence known with a big save, and the Lopes remained up 2-0. Day, he'll let Tesouris pick it up. Downfield. Headed. Lancers threatening. Tesouris is there.
Tesouris with another great save. Continuing to make his presence known.
It'll be a foul on the Lancers, so the Lopes will keep possession.
It's going to be the 18th foul on the California Baptist Lancers.
Alfonso. And it'll be a foul on the Lopes. A little bit too much from Wilton. Lancer still threatening Lopes.
Lopes continuing to keep these Lancers quiet.
Day trying to get some space. It'll go out of bounds. Canales looking to clear it. And out of bounds, so the Lopes will take over as we enter the 80th minute. Lopes
under 10 minutes to go for their second WAC win. And you can almost feel it. It'll be their fourth win at home as we have another player down. And he makes his way up. So the potential fifth home win for the Lopes will move their record to 5-5, 4-2 at home, and 2-1 in conference.
And if California Baptist, excuse me, gets that loss, they're going to fall to 5-5-1.
Drac. And off of California Baptist. Oh, that's going to be another yellow card issued. That's to number 9. That's Sebastian Weisbach.
Absolutely. The whole GCU Lopes bench shot up on that one.
And it is, oh, another yellow card. This time it's on Preston Judd, and this time.
And Judd, who was mouthing off earlier to the refs, got a little bit of a warning and has refused to shut his mouth, gets a yellow card. Tensions start to fly as we head into the 82nd minute.
So the clock will continue to run.
Couple of late dramatics going on as we see some yellow
tension.
cards be thrown up.
Alex Radia will check in for the Lopes as we enter the 82nd minute. And it looks like Marios Andreu will check out. Clock still running. That one thrown in. And it'll be Lancer ball. You almost feel like a rivalry building up between these two teams.
Oh, absolutely. You know, these teams have history, as we said before. They haven't met up though since 2012 when the Lopes got that win at home. So it's interesting to see a little bit of tensions flaring between the two teams this late in the game.
That one sent downfield, and Lopes looking for something. Kicked across.
California Baptist starting to push up a little bit.
Yeah, at this point, they're looking to stay away from the shutout, and Austin Day's got other ideas. A great block.
Great defense there by Austin Day and the Lopes.
Day again. Canales kicks it ahead. Wilton.
Loses that one.
Ramirez. The shot, it is going to be too far. Lancers hustling over. That one again should find the arms of Tesorius. It will.
Coming up on just about 5 minutes left to play in the match.
Yeah, just about that 5-minute warning. Lopes, like I said, looking to cap off their 4th home win after a shutout loss against Bakersfield on Friday. A nice rebound win for the Lopes. This time they're the ones who do the shutout. 2-0 so far, as they look for their 2nd WAC win and improve their record to even 5-5. Whereas the Lancers, on the other hand, their road woes continue. 2-4 on the road, possibly moving to 2-5 on the road, and 0-2 in the conference on the road. Of course, they got the 1 win against Seattle University. That one was 2-1. The throw in. Day looking to play keep away. Maybe find Kissy on the breakaway. It'll be booted out of bounds. So Drac will let Day throw it in.
As strong as the Lopes offense has been, we're getting a little display of the strong Lopes defense as well. Good to see both sides of the ball coming alive.
Yeah, the Lopes, like I said, trying to keep the shutout going. Could be a huge momentum boost as we begin this early conference play. That one should find Drac. And out of bounds, we'll get a corner kick for the Lopes. And out of bounds again, corner kick for the Lopes.
Coming up on the 88th minute here. As California Baptist continues to push.
Drac. And it'll go out of bounds.
It's like Drac was getting his jersey tugged a little bit there. Trying to fight off those California Baptist defenders.
And it'll go out of bounds. So the Lopes under a minute away from a victory here at GCU Stadium as they lead 2-0 as we enter the 89th minute.
And the Lopes have done so great this game, coming out strong with that momentum and really just continuing it all the way into this 89th minute, being the dominant team overall. A great performance by the Lopes.
Judd heads it. Smith trying to play keep away. No call. Judd rolls on top of it, and we are getting close to 10 seconds.
Lopes fans are going to count this one down.
Yes, they will. The clock will start to wind down, and you can party like it's 2012. Another home win for the Lopes. Last time it was 1-0 here in 2012. Flashback about 6 years later, and the Lopes are still beating these Lancers. The Lopes win 2-0 and improve their overall record to 5-5, their home record to 4-2, and their conference record to 2-1 with a 2-0 shutout against the California Baptist Lancers.
Absolutely, and they stuck to their 3 keys of the game from the beginning. They had difficulty at home, and in this game they showed up in front of a big crowd and did what they needed to do. They scored first, they scored often, and they shut out the other team.
And the Lopes get a win 2-0, but our GCU golf course player of the game, Marco Afonso, scoring the opening goal for the Lopes. Had a lot of opportunities, great defense for Marco Afonso, and he is our GCU golf course player of the game.
Oh, absolutely, nobody deserves it more than him. Having, potentially we would consider 2 goals, but one of them was taken away. But having just such great opportunity, great looks from such a young man, who's got so much potential on this team. Great to see him come out and get his first goal of the season tonight. 2
shots, 1 shot on goal and 1 goal, and of course Malik Smith with a goal for the Lopes to put them up 2-0. Men's soccer is back in action next Friday on the road, October 5th against San Jose State. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GCU. We want to wish a speedy recovery to Albert Escoen, goalkeeper of the California Baptist Lancers. We hope that he comes back to the pitch very soon for the Lancers in their next game. But for right now, the Lopes get a win, 2-0. Have a great night. For Dominic Hinton, for the entire GCU TV team, I'm Philip Katafamo, wishing you a happy and safe rest of your night. Be careful with this rain. Enjoy it while we've got it. Lopes get a win. And as always, go Lopes.